The great trigger warning debate. Are trigger warnings truly helpful, or are they a growing problem? Many people wonder about this. They question their real impact. Some see them as vital, others view them as harmful. This debate is significant today. It affects how we communicate. What exactly is a trigger warning? It is a short, prior alert. It warns of difficult content. This content might be distressing. It could relate to past trauma, such as violence or abuse. The main goal is to inform, so individuals can then choose. The core issue here is clear. We want to protect people, especially trauma survivors, from pain. But there is another concern. Do warnings stop emotional growth? Do they make us more fragile? This is a very difficult balance. Many different views exist here. This essay explores this topic. We will examine it quite closely. We will look at the arguments, both for and against warnings. We will consider the research and what experts currently say. Our ultimate aim is understanding. A balanced perspective is truly key. Trigger warnings are not entirely new. They did not just start recently. Their historical journey is interesting. They began in online spaces. These were often support groups. Feminist forums first used them. Mental health websites too. This was their original home. Their first purpose was quite specific. It was to help trauma survivors. People with PTSD, for instance, or survivors of sexual assault. The aim was to prevent re-traumatization, to stop sudden, painful memories. This was a very focused goal. It was about clear known dangers. Early warnings were usually direct. They flagged very graphic content, explicit descriptions of violence perhaps, or detailed accounts of past trauma. It let people manage their exposure in vulnerable online communities. It was a tool for self-care, a community-led safety initiative. Then their use started to grow. They moved beyond these first niches, into education like university settings, and into mainstream media outlets too. This significant expansion changed things. The scope became much wider. This particular shift is now debated. It is part of the current problem. Why do people support these warnings? Many see them as simply respectful. They acknowledge difficult life experiences. They show basic human consideration. They give people some vital control over what they read or see. This personal control can be empowering. It is a form of common courtesy. For PTSD survivors, triggers are real. Unexpected content can be truly harmful. It can cause intense, vivid flashbacks, or severe, overwhelming waves of anxiety. Warnings allow them to prepare, or to choose to avoid the content. This helps create a safer space. Safety is very important in this context. This preparation can actually help engagement. It might seem rather counterintuitive. Knowing what is coming helps them. A survivor can then choose to engage, rather than being shocked or deeply hurt. So it is a tool for access, not merely for total blank avoidance. This allows for continued learning. Advocates say this builds greater inclusion. It makes spaces feel more welcoming. People who might otherwise feel unsafe can then participate much more fully. This is good for many communities, and for learning environments especially. It is about care and better access. Everyone should feel properly included. Section 4. The unintended obstacle. Do warnings weaken our resolve? Critics of warnings raise serious concerns. They worry warnings encourage avoidance. Avoiding feared things initially feels safe, but it can maintain anxiety long-term. Therapy often involves facing our fears in a careful and gradual way. This approach is called exposure therapy. It helps to build true resilience. Warnings might actually increase anxiety. This is an ironic potential outcome. The warning itself creates new tension. People anticipate feeling particularly bad. This is a known psychological effect. Sometimes it is called the nocebo effect. Negative expectations can indeed hurt. They can worsen subjective experiences. Do warnings pathologize normal human feelings? Feeling upset is sometimes perfectly normal. Difficult topics should naturally affect us. Are we labeling this as inherently harmful? This could make us emotionally weaker, less able to cope with distress. It might foster widespread emotional fragility. This is a real and present danger. The very wide use of warnings is questioned. They are used for many topics now, not just for extreme trauma content. If almost everything needs a warning, the entire concept loses its meaning. It might create a culture of oversensitivity, a culture expecting constant protection always. This is not how the real world works. Section 5. Weighing the evidence. What do researchers and experts say? What does the current research tell us? Studies on warnings show mixed results. Some find they have very little effect on actual subsequent emotional responses. People report quite similar anxiety levels whether they saw a formal warning or not. This makes their overall benefit unclear. More thorough research is still needed. A 2019 meta-analysis is quite notable. It was conducted by Peyton Jones and colleagues. It suggested that warnings do not really help. They do not reduce negative feelings reliably. They might even slightly increase anxiety, especially the anxiety before seeing content. This challenges their main stated purpose. The supporting evidence is not strong. However, some academic experts do disagree. Dr. Jennifer Freyd is one such voice. She studies trauma, memory, and betrayal. She argues that a lack of warning hurts, especially for genuine trauma survivors. The debate often relates to defining harm and how we accurately measure benefit. Context seems to matter quite greatly. Other scholars have distinctly different views. Greg Lukianoff and myself, for example, we co-authored The Coddling of the American Mind. We argue warnings contribute to coddling. This campus culture might hurt resilience, especially in developing young people. It can promote unhelpful thinking styles like catastrophizing relatively small things. Section 6. Navigating the nuance. Where do we go from here with trigger warnings? Trigger warnings are clearly very complex. There are no simple, easy answers. They started with generally good intentions to protect truly vulnerable people. This compassionate original aim is important. We should not readily forget it. It is certainly a worthy societal goal, but the actual outcomes also matter. Yet concerns about our resilience are valid, and their impact on processing emotions. The evidence is not yet conclusive that they achieve their protective goals. Sometimes they might even seem to backfire, leading to unintended negative side effects. We must consider all this carefully. Good intentions alone are not enough. Finding a sensible, practical balance is key. How can we best support survivors without fostering widespread emotional fragility? How do we properly define safety, both in intellectual and emotional ways? These are genuinely hard, deep questions. There are many different, strong opinions. Thoughtful, open discussion is much needed. Ultimately, we must ask even more. How do we best prepare all people for a difficult world without warnings? A world that is often quite harsh. How do we effectively build compassion and also build real, lasting strength? The important conversation must continue. Let us all reflect deeply on this. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell to see more videos like this. Equality must include everyone. Let's start the conversation. What do you think? Are trigger warnings helping or hurting resilience? Or is this a conversation long overdue?